Alright, so what happened? Anyway, like, what do you think?
Well, I was in a car accident, but before that,
Yeah, no, like, what happened in the car accident?
oh, in the car accident. So we were we were stopped in the middle of the highway, and there was this car speeding towards us from the rear, and then boom, it hit us from behind, and then uh, our car shot like about 10 feet and forward, and that was the car accident. It felt horrible. It felt
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, like I never knew what a car accident what it would feel like to be in a car accident.
Why so?
Well, well, like ironically that day, like today, I was thinking like how like I was thinking about the expression of when people say that you never feel the pain right away, you feel it later. And I was all like, it's got to be some lie. And then I just experienced a car accident today, and then I'm still just beginning to feel the pain. I mean, like, God, my neck. But,
What about the person who crashed into you guys? Like, what do
oh,
you feel towards them? Do you, like, what's up with that? Because I know you're kind of a open-ended kind of guy, but
hmm
what do you think about that?
she wasn't looking at the road, and then she just rammed into us at like 30 miles per hour. I was like, what the hell? What kind of excuse is that? But, I mean, like, you can't blame her. She had two kids in the car, one in the front seat, which is
Well,
stupid.
really,
Yeah.
explain stupid. Because I
Okay.
mean, there's so many different meanings of stupid, so many definitions. Like, what do you mean by stupid?
What I mean by stupid is the type of stupidity of putting a 10-year-old child in the front seat. That type of stupid.
Well, some would say that that's kind of like giving your kids freedom, the kind of freedom they need.
Well, it's not freedom when you're endangering your child. I mean, if he wants to stay in the front seat, but you know it's bad for him, then you have to stick with what's right. I mean, you can give him anything else in the world. Like if they want to go to the movies, then they can go to the movies. I mean, if they want to walk alone on the street, they can. But if it's not safe, then they shouldn't do it.
Overall, though, if if you had stayed in America for a little bit and not gone to Ethiopia, would you have probably thought this experience differently, or no?
Well, I don't understand that question. Could you rephrase that?
Like, if you hadn't gotten to Ethiopia and you were just, you know, um, here in America the
hmm
entire time, what would you have thought of the accident differently? Do you think?
I guess I would have, because being in Ethiopia has taught me, like, gave me a whole load of patience. So I'm very patient with everything, and I couldn't believe myself when I was in the car accident. Like, the first thought that came to my head was like, really? Now? I'm in a car accident now, out of all times? It's like this a really annoyed voice was in my head, and I'm like, later I thought about it and I was like, what? I'm supposed to be thinking like, oh, I'm about to die or something, but I wasn't thinking that. So being in Ethiopia like changed my like perspective on things. But if I lived in America, like my perspective might have changed on that accident. I might have been more angry. I might
Hmm.
have reacted to it differently.
So let's go more into the whole Ethiopia thing. Why would you say that? Like, go deeper into it. Do you think they changed the way that you thought about like people behaving, or was it just like your aspect on the world? What would you say about that?
Well, in Ethiopia, there are lots of type of people. Most Ethiopians over there, um, you know, it's not. I'm not trying to be racist or anything, but there are lots of problems in the culture, and there are lots of problems in the people, and like when when you learn to socialize with them, you have to sometimes deal with the fact that they can't make an appointment on time, or they just don't want to do something because sometimes it happens by accident. Sometimes they do it purposely because they don't want to be around you. And
Over here or in Ethiopia?
In Ethiopia. So it's like in that country, lots of accidents happen, lots of them, and like.
And yet you've never been in one accident in your entire life.
No, not that type of accident. I mean like accidents, like social accidents. You know, like one time I called a friend to come over to my house at lunchtime, and he came like at 4 p.m. in the afternoon, and I was like, what the heck? I called you like, I told you to be here like, what, 3 hours ago. What's wrong? And he's like, oh well, I couldn't make it because so on and so forth. You know, and like, there's like a sheer amount of honesty over there, but there are like the living environment doesn't allow people to be free, I guess. Like you can't make it places at certain times, or you know, I don't know how to put it. It's like you have to live in that type of environment. You have to be very patient with everything.
I see.
And if you're not patient, then you're not gonna go anywhere.
Well, some would say that you're more free over there than over here. Would you agree with that? Like in some cases?
It depends on what you mean by free.
Well, exactly.
Like, if you mean free as in, oh, I get to do whatever I want, then yeah, you're definitely free to do whatever you want over there. But if you mean free as in, I can go to the supermarket and go to watch a movie whenever I want, and I'm not going to have any issues along the way, then that's a completely different story. You see, because in Ethiopia, to have a car and drive there is very unsafe, and it's a hard thing to do, because the way they drive over there, it's not like America. It doesn't have any well, it has there are traffic laws, but there aren't many people that enforce the traffic laws. There aren't many stoplights in the whole city. I can count that there are only like 5 stoplights in the entire city, which covers like 500 square kilometers. What am I saying? No, it's like almost 1,000 square kilometers. I don't know where that 500 came from. Anyway, so, and because of that, car accidents aren't like a big thing because everybody is like has adapted to drive in that environment. But if you're a new person driving there, then you're gonna have some serious problems. Which leads me to say that you haven't like the rear side of the car was like totally smashed. So, like, some people would be all like, "Oh my gosh, my car's destroyed. I'm never gonna drive in this car again." And some people like me would be all like, "Accidents happen." So, yeah. The way people interpret accidents, I think America and Africa would just deal with it like any normal thing, and America, depending on the situation, would act accordingly, depending. I don't really know how to explain it. I think in America, accidents would be like more of a big deal depending on the situation. Whereas in Africa, no matter what accident happened, eventually they'll just shrug it off as an accident. I tell her I wanted a 2-piece, and she said, "You want a 2-piece? You go to the toilet." And I said, No, you don't understand. I wanted 2-piece on my plate." And she said, "You better not piece on the plate, you son of a bitch." And then I get very angry. During the day, I get hungry and I go to a very nice fancy restaurant. And I sit down and I notice on my table I have one knife, 1 spoon, and no fork. And I called the lady and I said, "I wanted a fork." And she said, "Everybody wanted a fork." And I said, No, you don't understand. I wanted a fork on the table. And she said, "You better not fork on the table, you son of a bitch." Later I am even more angry, and then I go back to my bedroom. And I see there is a comforter, but no sheet. And I call the lady and I say, "I wanted a sheet." And she said, "You wanted a sheet? You go to the toilet." And I say, No, you don't understand. I wanted a sheet on the bed." And she said, "You better not shit on the bed, you son of a bitch." I got so angry that I want to go home. So I go to the checkout. And I tell the man that I don't want to be in the hotel anymore. And he said, "Peace." I said, "Peace to you too, you son of a bitch." I go back to Italia. Arrivederci.